Belief, whether in a higher power, purpose, or moral framework, helps individuals navigate uncertainty, meaninglessness, and mortality. Without belief, many struggle with the fear of the unknown, insignificance, death, loneliness, and chaos. It is leading to questions about whether one's existence truly matters, because they don't believe God's existence and hope there is no God's judgment either. Fear influences human behavior, and among the many fears people experience, two profound ones stand out: death and divine judgment. While both stem from uncertainty, they manifest differently based on personal beliefs, cultural influences, and reflections on morality. The way individuals confront these fears largely depends on their views on the afterlife and accountability for actions. The idea of death as an absolute end rather than a transition can cause deep anxiety. When we born and bring nothing into this world, when we die and bring nothing out of this world, so accomplishments on earth might seem insignificant, fueling doubts about life purpose. The fear of non-existence, unresolved relationships, and unfinished goals further intensifies distress surrounding mortality. The fear of death. Death remains life's greatest unknown. People wrestle with questions about what happens after we leave this world. Some people think that when a person died, then all their worries, burdens, and pain are all gone, so they take the road of suicide. But it is just a wishful thinking. The feeling of fear still stems from pain, loss, and the unsettling idea of non-existence. For those who believe life ends entirely at death, the thought of ceasing to exist can be terrifying. The absence of consciousness and the loss of everything familiar contribute to this anxiety. Some also fear death because of unfinished business, dreams left unfulfilled, relationships unresolved, and experiences never lived. Even those who believe in an afterlife struggle with the uncertainty of transition. The prospect of suffering in one's final moments, separation from loved ones, and the unknown that lies beyond can be overwhelming. These anxieties push individuals to seek longevity, meaning, or avoidance of mortality-related thoughts. The fear of God's judgment. Romans 2:6, God will repay each person according to what they have done. Psalms 9:8, He rules the world in righteousness and judges the peoples with equity. Hebrews 10:30, For we know him who said, It is mine to avenge, I will repay, and again, the Lord will judge his people. For religious individuals, fear extends beyond death to what follows, standing before God and facing divine judgment. People with Christianity faith believe that death is people sleep temporary, we will resurrect again to face God's judgment when Jesus' second coming. Christianity faiths teach that people will be accountable for their actions, determining their eternal fate in heaven or hell. The concept of divine judgment reinforces that every action, thought, and intention matters, urging believers to live ethically. Faiths that emphasize eternal consequences heighten this fear, as the results are everlasting joy or everlasting suffering. How to overcoming these fears of death and God's judgment. Seeking life meaning through faith, relationships, or personal growth can ease the fear of death. Instead fearing of judgment, if believers are following God's teaching, walking His way and do the things to pleasing God, then judgment time will be the time of rewarding. Revelation 20:12-13, And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. The dead were judged according to what they had done, no matter people believe there is judgment after death or not, but according to Bible teaching that death is not the end of life, it is a transition to what comes next. The choice is in each individual's hands, whether to walk with God or follow another path which determining their final destination, heaven or hell. Summarize. Atheists may fear death most, while religious individuals may be more concerned about divine judgment. Over time, fear can evolve. Young individuals may fear death more, while older individuals reflect on past actions and future judgment. However, those who strive to align their actions, words, and thoughts with God's way need not fear death and God's judgment. Instead, they may anticipate divine rewards, finding reassurance through grace, forgiveness, and Christianity's teachings.